I'm pretty excited to create this summery, wintry image today because this is very reflective of a Melbourne summer. Melbourne in Australia is crazy in summer. Sometimes, some days you'll have it start off at 30, 40 degrees Celsius, and halfway through the day, the temperature will drop dramatically and it might get down to like 18 degrees. One Christmas, when we lived up in Emerald, it actually looked like it was snowing. It was ice, it wasn't snow, but we basically had a white Christmas in the middle of summer. So this image that I'm creating for you right now is reflective of that crazy weather that Melbourne is so well known for. I'm going to start with a scene from the beach, which actually has some riveted sand in it that we can create and make it look like snow. So to do this, we actually go into Photoshop and make the sand look white, so make it look like snow. And then we'll do a few other things. I'm going to use pixel squid in this tutorial, so I'm pretty thrilled to be able to show you the cool features of pixel squid. So here I've got all my shots from today where we photographed Marina as the summery, wintry girl that is so frustrated by the weather in Melbourne. And we've got a few shots here that I've pulled out that we are going to use in this scene. I really like this one here. And what we're going to do is have the clothes flying out of the suitcase, and Marina is going to be basically talking to a snowman. So the clothes that we've got flying out are here. Thank you very much to my wonderful assistant Sylvia for throwing the clothes out. So we've got a few different ones that we'll use. We threw the clothes out individually as well so that I can cut them out and add them in. We've used green screen here, so I'll show you how I quickly cut out with green screen as well. Here was taken in Townsville, and so the path is going out to the beach, and I want to keep the background in this, but I want to add some different elements that really mix it up and show 4 different seasons in one day. So a few things that I'll do in Lightroom just to clean it up. Firstly, there's a little pole here, so I'm just going to use the healing tool to quickly get rid of that. The bird will be a distraction, so we'll remove the bird. And there's a couple of dust spots that were on my sensor at the time that I took that, so I'm cleaning those up. Alright, the next thing that I want to do is bring out all the detail in this image. So firstly, that background there I might make a little darker. Just a bit more colour to it. Not too much though, because we're going sort of to a snowy scene, and if we have too much colour in the sky it won't work. We may even make some of the sky a bit brighter. The next thing I want to do is overall just lift the exposure and bring out some of the shadows and the highlights so that we've got a bit more detail. I like to, when I'm compositing, bring my clarity up as well, just to again give it more oomph, I guess, to create a more three-dimensional sort of look. I don't always do that when I'm editing normal photos, but when I'm compositing I like to bring my scene in with a little more clarity, not too much. Alright, so that is ready. I am going to bring that into Photoshop. Now we're in Photoshop, and now we can do the first step of making the sand look like snow. There's a few different ways you can go about this, and this would be similar to if you were wanting to change particular greenery to look snowy and white as well. It's pretty simple, but it does only work with the right kind of image. So I have tried this with a few of my other beach images and it didn't work quite so well. This one it did. If I flick over to, this was one that I played with earlier. This is sort of what I'm basing it on. So you can see that it looks really snowy, that all the sand has been turned into snow, but I've done a whole lot of other things with this as well. So going back over here, I will duplicate the layer because I want to work with a different layer here in case I want to go back to the original. The next thing that I need to do is select and color range. Now what I'm wanting to do here is pick up most of the sand predominantly. I don't want to have it totally selected, so I do want some of the little bits of highlights here coming through, but we can adjust the fuzziness so that you can see how much of it it's picking up. I really don't want to pick up much of the water here, but perhaps just a little bit, and a little sprinkling of snow on the leaves and things here, but still with some green coming through. Now, sometimes you might have to do this a few times to really get it right, but one way you can check it is by the white mask. So instead of having it on quick mask, if you set your selection to white matte, then you can really visualize what it's going to look like, which is fantastic. So if we turn it up, it looks really, really snowy. And the cool thing is there's bits of sand on the leaves that are looking like there's snow sprinkled onto the leaves. I'm pretty happy with that look. There are areas that I may work back again so I can paint back with my mask, but overall I really like the look of this. So I press OK. And that gives me the selection. Now the next thing I want to do is actually make that selection white, like it did show up before with the white matte. So we can go to here, an adjustment layer, click on solid color, and click white. Now it's actually done the inversion here. So what we're going to do is press OK, go over to the color fill, and invert that. So now we've got our snow. We can do a range of different things to make this more obvious. But first of all, I'm going to duplicate this particular color fill and turn the top one off. And I want to blur the base one so that it makes it more realistic. It wouldn't be that sharp. The snow that's on there is a little too harsh. So if we go to Gaussian blur, so this is just to create a bit of blur underneath. Okay, so we click OK, 2.7 is not too bad. We want that to show up underneath. Now this is only blurring the snow. We can then adjust that, turn down the opacity, turn it up. And here now we've got 2 layers of snow. It's looking quite good. We can play around with some other settings. You know, your images might be quite different to mine, and you may need to adjust a whole lot of different things to make it look realistic.